Welcome one, welcome all, welcome to From Broken Worlds, where I train through my injured body, particularly my knees, and try to qualify for the 2027 World's Masters Highland Games Championship. Welcome to my journey. As you can see, I put on some, I don't know what they're called, knee rings or something. A fellow competitor of mine let me borrow his, and they work out pretty good, so I'll either buy it off him or I'll figure something out. But yeah, I thought they really helped kind of keep the swelling down and keep my knees feeling pretty good. So today I wanted to discuss the Bondarchuk method. A bit about Bondarchuk. He was a Soviet coach primarily for throws in the Olympics, so shot put, discus, hammer throw. He was a hammer throw competitor himself, and the reason people are really interested in Bondarchuk's approach was, first of all, he was kind of a genius. He was a good researcher, smart guy, very creative, unique thinker. But also he had access to a whole system that can have huge sample pools on training, and a system that was really interested in being excellent at sports, and a whole system of a country that was really designed, or they created a design to create excellent athletes. So he had access to a lot more data than a lot of researchers, especially at his time. Way more people to draw data from. So today I'm going to do a little introduction explanation of the Bondarchuk method, but I will tell you what I'm not doing that's the Bondarchuk method first, and then I'll tell you what I am. But the Bondarchuk method, and I'm going to focus on the complex method that he had. He had different approaches to his method. And actually, I'm using one that's not the complex method for various reasons that we'll get into maybe another day. But really, the complex is ironically the most easiest to explain. So basically, he believed a program had a certain amount of adaptation to go through to make that program complete. So if you create a program, your body adapts to it. That's the whole point of creating a program. And there is a limit to how much adaptation that you make. So let's call that 100%. He would criticize most programs by saying that they switch the exercises before you reach the 100% adaptation for your program. So maybe you've only gotten 50% and then you change up your workout. He says, no, you have to get all out of each program you set up before you move on to the next program. So how you determine whether you're 100% adaptation is you have to have something measurable to measure. So for me, it's easy. It's the throwing. I can measure that. And once I kind of peak and I start plateauing, then I know I've reached 100% adaptation. He also believed that peak period, there's a little period where you go from what was previously your best to what is now becoming your best throw. That was a very kind of special moment of growth. And the more times you could do that in a year, the more of those periods of time you can grow with. And over the course of like 5 years, let's say, the amount of growth you incur because you've peaked a bunch of times creates a better athlete in the long term. It wouldn't make a huge difference within a year, but over the years, it creates an athlete that has further adaptation than if you didn't do his method. So the complex method is basically this. The complex method is, he had 4 categories of exercise. So you had the competitive exercise, and that's just your actual sport. So in my case, it would be what I throw in the field. But he also had a set of exercises that sort of mimic or use the same muscular pathways as the throws in the field. And you'll see that in my exercise here. So here's one example of it. The landmine press, but I do it like a shot put. Now it's going in a bit more upward direction, but it's using the same kind of pathways, the twisting, the pop, like the same kind of pathways that an actual throw would have. So that would be the next, and following that would be a set of exercises that use the same systems. So typically athletic system, so maybe a hang clean or a clean and jerk or something like that would fall under not following the same pathways as your competitive exercise, but it would follow, it would work the same systems as that uses. So some athletic maneuvers, and then the fourth one is just general fitness or general exercises to get your general fitness up. So he would structure his workouts. So you'd start with the competitive exercise, then the exercises that kind of mimic the throws in the gym, and then the athletic movements that didn't mimic the throws in the gym, and then just general exercises for your general fitness. Now you can see, so this is an example of an exercise that mimics a throw in the gym right here. But you can see with my setup and my order, I'm mixing it up. I'm not following that exact order. And the reason is I wanted to try out the French contrast method, which I had talked in a previous episode. And I wanted to follow that. And you can't do it completely. So another interesting thing about Bondarchuk is he would have you do this twice a day sometimes. As many times as possible. He estimated most people around 50-ish exposures to an exercise before you get 100% adaptation from that program. And some people were faster, some people took longer, but on average around 50. So the more times you do that, so you had it, people doing that twice a day, the more times you do that, the sooner you get to your peak section, right? So because I'm only working out twice a week, not twice a day, it's going to take me like all season to get to my peak. It'll be about 54 exposures by the time my last competition will happen. And I planned that. I knew that. I just don't have time. I'm not a professional athlete that can dedicate all this time to this sport. So I have to kind of make do with the time I'm given and the other things I have in life that call my attention. So that's how I'm not doing Bondarchuk, because I'm not ordering my actual workouts the way he would. But I'm using some of his principles. As you can see, I'm doing, for example, this exercise. And I'm not varying my workout. I'm doing the same thing over and over again, almost. I do change up deadlift and squat, and change up shoulder press and bench press. I did that because I don't want to lose too much of each of the lifts for the off season when I change up my whole approach. But yeah, this is kind of what I'm not doing is designing my actual training to fit that form that he would have had. So that's one way I'm not following Bondarchuk, but and the other way is I am varying a little bit what I do each workout. I have a workout A and a workout B instead of just one workout. So next time I will go into greater detail on other ways that I am actually following the Bondarchuk method. And you can guess a couple of them already, but there are also other ones as well. So that's about it for explaining the Bondarchuk method. There are some books that you can buy to learn a bit more about it. It is there is a little complication. I'm simplifying, therefore distorting it a little. But hopefully everything I said was correct. So I decided to do plate twist instead of the Bulgarian bag twist because it kind of like flops around when you change direction, and the plate doesn't. So that worked a lot better. But the Bulgarian bag's been great for the other exercises. But for these side-to-side twists, the plate works way better. That's about it for this workout, boys and girls. Hope you are having a great day. Hope all is going well. All right, see you later. Bye.